by the shape of an extraterrestrial spacecraft that our ancestors witnessed descending from the sky. Some ancient astronaut theorists suggest there may be another, even more profound explanation, and point to an early Hebrew text that describes a magic ring used to control demons. Jerusalem, the 10th century BC. King Solomon of the United Kingdom of Israel begins construction on a great temple to house the Ark of the Covenant. According to the Hebrew Bible, this sacred chest was built to carry the stone tablets on which the Ten Commandments were written, and also facilitated direct communication with God. There's an ancient legend recorded of all places, the Talmud, wherein which it is said that there were specific needs for building Solomon's temple that no human being could provide. In the story, Solomon prays to God, and instantly the Archangel Michael manifests out of thin air. And Michael says that he's going to give Solomon a power that has never before been seen on earth and never again shall be. And he produces for him a golden ring with a signet seal. This is known as the secret seal of Solomon, and it is a magical sign which has that interesting shape like a keyhole.
This ring was used to command a legion of 72 jinn. These are fire spirits in Arabian tradition. And once they were under his control, he used them to build monuments, including Solomon's temple itself.
According to the Talmud, these otherworldly beings that Solomon was able to rule with his divine keyhole-shaped seal were led by a jinn named Ashmedai. In constructing Solomon's temple, Ashmedai not only oversaw the building of the tabernacle to hold the Ark of the Covenant, but also a number of underground hidden chambers. And Ashmedai brought with him an army of his followers who built those places under the temple which no human being was allowed to even know existed. So these legends come down to us to this day that this Temple of Solomon, parts that were subterranean, were not built by human hands, and therefore secret to this day to the human eye.
They build all kinds of tunnels and chambers, and you have to wonder if it might have something to do with this high technology that they put into some very safe place for keeping.
Could it be that the technology Solomon was given to build his temple was hidden somewhere beneath it? Solomon's temple was destroyed by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II in 587 BC. But nearly 1,700 years later, the site where it stood, known today as Temple Mount, was excavated by a group of warrior monks called the Order of Solomon's Temple, also known as the Knights Templar. And many believe that they did not leave empty-handed.
The Knights Templars got permission from the Pope to actually do excavations at Solomon's Temple. And the story there goes that the Templars actually discovered a secret chamber beneath the temple.
While it remains unknown just what the Knights Templar may have uncovered, researchers know that they would go on to display incredible building prowess, much like that of the jinn that legend credits with building Solomon's Temple.
The Knights Templars had very advanced knowledge of geometry, mathematics, architecture, and of working with stone. But some of the early constructions include the Gothic cathedrals of Europe, and they show remarkable technology. The way they worked with stone, the hidden geometry, the mathematics, and the sort of spiritual dimensions that these elements create. Quite remarkable.
Curiously, nearly every Templar church was built in the shape of a keyhole when viewed from above. But perhaps most notable of all is that at a former Chateau, there is a statue of Ashmedai, the king of the Jinn that helped Solomon to build his temple. Rumor has it that the Templar Knights endeavored to communicate with Ashmedai, the king of the Shadim, the Jinn, who built the temple to serve Solomon. Is it possible that the Knights Templar were in possession of a long-lost alien technology? One that was witnessed and documented all over the world in ancient times? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest further clues as to just what this technology was, and if it still exists somewhere on Earth today, can be found by examining the most iconic sacred object in all of Christianity, the Holy Grail. Rome, Italy, 1667. Architect Gian Lorenzo Bernini oversees the finishing touches on his masterpiece, St. Peter's Square. This resplendent portico consists of two straight colonnades that open up to a wide ellipse.
St. Peter's Square is a very large plaza in front of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. The thing is that St. Peter's Square is not a square. It's a keyhole shape. And the question is, why? The architect Bernini tells us that when he envisioned the keyhole shape, it was to create a sort of a room or a vessel so that the visitor to this place would feel like they're embraced by the welcoming or loving arms of the church. That as many as 1 million people can gather together in this spot. In fact, they would gather around a large Egyptian obelisk made of red granite that's in the exact center of the apex of this site. But we know that shapes hold power. Shapes have power. We have to ask the question, could this be something more?
Some historians suggest a clue as to why St. Peter's Square was designed in the shape of a keyhole can be found at the Galway Templar Church in England. In her 2007 book, The Knights Templar Encyclopedia, author Karen Rolls notes that there is a curious etching above the church's piscina, a keyhole-shaped chalice thought to depict the Holy Grail.
There are different perspectives on what the Holy Grail is. The one that most people are familiar with is that it's actually a cup or a chalice. One that was present at the Last Supper and that also was present at the crucifixion. What's interesting is that the Grail is very often distinctively keyhole shaped. This is eerily similar to what the Seal of Solomon looks like. The keyhole shape that is believed to be the actual symbol that Solomon used in order to bind or control demons.
Could it be that the Holy Grail and the Ring of Solomon are both representations of a technology that was wielded by extraterrestrial visitors? A mysterious 12th century nobleman named Wolfram von Eschenbach, who is often regarded as the greatest poet of the Middle Ages, wrote of the Holy Grail falling to earth from the heavens.
One of the origin stories of the Grail is that it was a giant emerald that was in the crown that Lucifer wore before his fall. That instead of descending to the underworld, it fell accidentally to earth. So we have a little piece of heaven here on earth.
While scholars debate what parts of Eschenbach's works were meant to be taken as fact, he goes into great detail about the Grail, which he alleged was carved from this otherworldly gemstone.
The stone can instantly manifest wishes through the power of a frequency or vibration. This is very important because one of the critical uses for the Grail is that it could transmute one thing into another, a wasteland into a garden, for example. Wolfram von Eschenbach said that the Grail fell from the heavens. What if the Grail is in fact extraterrestrial technology?
We know that the Knights Templar spent some time in Jerusalem, and it's often said that they were looking for holy relics, they were looking perhaps for the Holy Grail. Had they got it, where would they have taken it?
So let's think about St. Peter's Square in light of this. Maybe it tells us that the Grail is in Vatican
the shape of a keyhole to provide a clue that the Holy Grail resides somewhere at the Vatican. And was the Holy Grail not a cup that could bestow everlasting life, but a powerful extraterrestrial technology? Some ancient astronaut theorists believe the Grail may represent something even more profound, and point back to the keyhole shape found on Mars. November 2016. After a 3-year study of the keyhole formation discovered on Mars, an independent research team led by the director of the Cydonia Institute, George Haas, publishes their findings. The team determined that the formation exhibits such perfect symmetry that it is highly unlikely to be the result of natural erosion.
It appears what we're seeing on Mars is evidence of some unknown extraterrestrial culture that I think may have been telling a story of where we came from and possibly where we may be going.
If the keyhole formation on Mars is an artificial structure, as this scientific study suggests, could it indicate that an alien technology documented by our ancestors was left on Earth's closest neighboring planet for humanity to one day discover? Or is it possible that the structure does not represent some physical object, but carries a more important message? Was it meant to tell us that there are profound secrets waiting to be unlocked about both our past and our future?
When we look at all the examples of the keyhole shape as it appears throughout different myths and traditions, it tells us that that is a vital shape for us to understand. And it suggests to me that when we find the keyhole shape, no matter where it is, that they all refer to this great mystery symbolized by the keyhole, and that perhaps by understanding one is going to help us to unlock the mysteries of all and release some tremendous cosmic power.
I think that there's an extraterrestrial message inside this keyhole shape. If anything, it is a project of spreading knowledge and information throughout the entire universe. Because without information, what do you have? You have nothing.
I think that what's really lying in store for humanity now is that we will prove these keyhole shapes are really signifying intelligent life, perhaps giving us technology and helping us go into space.
Could it be that the keyhole shape symbolizes a connection to the universe that humankind is only beginning to comprehend? Are religious artifacts like the Holy Grail not divine or even extraterrestrial objects, but messages meant to tell us that our destiny lies in the stars? Perhaps we are on the verge of finally understanding the significance of this ubiquitous symbol. And the next giant leap for mankind will be more profound than we could ever imagine.